episode 2 of Stargirl. Now, this is getting good. So the episode picks up where the last episode finishes. Courtney and Cindy had just gotten to their fight in the school gymnasium, and Courtney got bodied, and she ended up in the hospital. Pat found her, put her in the hospital. Um, Pat actually Pat came up with the most ridiculous, stupidest reason for why Courtney was in the hospital. He ended up crashing his own car, and he told his wife that Courtney had gotten into a car accident. And his son was with him when they were at the football game. Because at first, when Pat was just like, "Oh, we got into a car accident," I was just like, "So how did y'all justify that to the son?" And then he came up some lie about how the son got a ride home from like a friend's parent or whatever, and then he took Courtney out, to teach her how to drive, and then Courtney crashed the car. And I'm just like, bro, you could have came up with a better reason than that. I mean, he could have said, you know, after the game, I took my son home, and then Courtney wanted to get like late night tacos or Burger King or something, and then we were driving to the Burger King, and then somebody ran us off the road, and we hit it. Like there was a million, that was just the dumbest, because the thing about that excuse I don't like, it makes Pat look bad. And when his wife came home, she was just like, "What were you thinking, letting my daughter drive a car for the very first time at night?" And it's like, it makes Pat look bad, and I'm just like, bro, like, you did that to yourself, because that was a ridiculous reason. So so Courtney and Pat, they're in the hospital, they're talking. Pat's just like, "Listen, we need to tell your mom the truth." And then Courtney's like, "No, don't do it, because she'll never let me be Stargirl." And I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much." And then Pat was just like, "Nah." He was like, "I don't want to keep lying to her." He's like, "We've already lied too much." He's like, "We can lie to the rest of the world about what's going on, but," he's like, "I don't want to lie to your mom." So then Courtney was just like, "Look," she was like, "Let's bust the Injustice Society first. Let's save Blue Valley, and then after we save Blue Valley, then we'll tell mom everything." So he agreed to that. So then the two of them checked out of the hospital. After she checked out of the hospital, Pat was wheeling her out. They saw Henry sitting in his dad's room, because Henry was by his dad's side. Courtney said hi to Henry, and then Henry got up, walked up to Courtney, and slammed the door in her face. I don't know why he did that, because last I checked, Courtney and Henry didn't have beef, but that shit was funny. So so Courtney's home. The brother, like, he apologized for being a douche, like at the football game. And then Pat's trying to figure out, Pat was just like, "Look, I need to figure out what's going on with Cindy and find out like who her parents are, like how she connects with the JSA and the whole shebang." So Yolanda, Beth, and Rick, they're at they're all pissed off, and I'm like, "How did y'all find out? Like, how did y'all find out that quick that Courtney was in the hospital?" So they know Courtney's in the hospital, and of course Rick, he's just like, "I'm gonna kill that bitch." And then Beth was just like, "Yo, calm down." She was like, "We got to find out information, because first of all, we don't know shit about Cindy. We don't know what her powers are. We don't know what she can do. We don't know what her daddy can do. We don't know who her daddy is." So Beth was just like, "Look, I got an idea. Let's just do that instead." So Beth and the gang, they go to Cindy's house. Pat rolls up on him. He sees him in the street. He rolls up on him. He's like, "Yo, what are y'all doing?" And then the two of them, they're like, "Well, Beth went in the house to go find out some dirt on Cindy." So Pat runs up on him. So Pat and Beth, he runs up on the house. He's with Beth. The mom, like the Cindy's stand-in mom, answers the door. Pat and Beth are there. They're just like, "Oh, we came." Beth was like, "I came to see Cindy to get some cheerleading advice," and then Pat was just like, "Yeah, this is my daughter." So he was just like, "I just wanted to come in and say hi." So Pat's talking to the mom. Meanwhile, Beth's walking around scanning the house. She finds the secret passageway to the Injustice headquarters. Beth goes into Injustice headquarters, and as soon as she goes into the Injustice headquarters, her goggles stop working, like the internet or whatever, like the Wi-Fi signal will stop working. And as soon as that shit happened, I'd have dipped. She didn't dip. She kept walking around. She heard Solomon Grundy's voice, and then Beth was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Beth took off and ran upstairs. So she goes to Cindy's room. She's digging around Cindy's room, looking at all of her stuff, looking at her photos, and then she found a photo of her dad. Come to find out, her dad is a former like war criminal, whatever. He's mad old, and he should be dead. Like, he should be dead. So like he's so old to the point where the photo that Cindy had of him was in black and white. So Beth gets the information, and then she ends up leaving the house. Cindy's stand-in mom tried to sleep with Pat. Pat picked up on it. He was just like, nope, I don't want that smoke. And, and then Pat dipped. So he goes outside with the rest of the gang. So the rest of the gang, like everybody's trying to get out of the house. Meanwhile, Courtney's home. She's trying to recover from being in the hospital, and then Cindy, like a G, shows up to Courtney's house and goes in her room and sits down in the bed and starts having a conversation with her. Courtney's like in shock because she doesn't know what to think. She doesn't know what Cindy knows or doesn't know. Cindy was basically just like, you know what, I apologize for losing my cool just because you said you had a date to the dance. She was like, truth be told, she was like, I'm going through some stuff and I need a friend. So, she brought up some chocolate. They had this whole one-sided conversation that only Cindy was having, and Courtney was just looking at her like, this bitch is crazy. And then right before Cindy decided to leave, she was just like, by the way, I know you're Stargirl. She was just like, you think I can't recognize you? And then she was just like, she told her dead ass, she was like, yo, I'm gonna kill all your friends, and then I'm coming for you, and then Cindy left. And then Courtney starts freaking out. She texts Yolanda, and she's like, Cindy knows that I'm Stargirl. And then Yolanda tells, Rick, she's like, Cindy knows that, Courtney's Stargirl. And then Cindy ends up, she ends up going home while Beth and them was in the house. But Beth managed to jump out the window along with Yolanda's help. But Cindy knew, she was like, yo, somebody was in my room. So then, she was trying to figure that whole thing out. So now Courtney's whole thing is she tried to contact Yolanda again, and Yolanda didn't answer the phone. So now Pat, Yolanda, Rick, and Beth, they have all the information that Beth scanned in the house. They have the information about Cindy's dad. They're all going back to Pat's garage. But because Courtney doesn't know this, she doesn't know what's going on, she starts freaking out. And then she puts on the Stargirl costume, and she goes to Cindy's house. She busts through Cindy's window and tried to kick her ass. So now Cindy and Stargirl, they're getting into another fight. They're out in the street now. They're having a fight in the street. While they were having a fight in the street, Henry, he was home, and his powers like seriously like kicked in. Like his powers revealed a hidden room that his dad had. It revealed like some information about who his dad was, his work with the JSA. Like Henry, he has all this knowledge now. He's soaking up all this knowledge, and I wonder if his dad is telepathically feeding him all this information. So that was so now Henry is basically like 95% Brainwave Junior right now. Even earlier, Cindy was talking to her dad, and she was trying to get her dad's approval. She was just like, oh, I killed Stargirl. He was like, you've killed nothing. And then he was like, thanks to your foolishness. He's like, I now have to explain to the Injustice Society why Stargirl was running around in the tunnels and why my daughter put on the Shiv costume that I was saving for your graduation. Because I think when she was going to turn 18, that's when her dad was going to put her into the Injustice Society. And she got impatient. She put the suit on too early. She took the staff, tried to bust Stargirl ass, and now she exposed Stargirl. She exposed Stargirl to what they were doing. So he got upset and told her, he was like, yo, get the F about my face. So yeah, so Henry, like I said, so Henry's freaking out, and then, he ends up leaving. While Henry's in his car driving to God knows where, he sees Stargirl and Cindy fighting in the street. So Henry gets out of the car. Obviously Cindy wasn't wearing the costume, and she doesn't wear a mask anyway. So, he rolls up on her. He's just like, yo, what the hell's going on? And meanwhile, he can hear both Cindy and Stargirl's thoughts at the same time. So he knows what's happening. And then, she was just like, she was just like, help me kill this bitch. And then, Courtney was like, oh, I'm not going to let her beat me. And then, then he's freaking, like Henry's freaking out because he's like, how come I can hear everything? He's like, why do I hear everybody's thoughts? And it's like, he hasn't put it together yet. And I mean, because the thing is, he doesn't know anything about the Injustice Society. He knows jack about the whole situation, so he really hasn't put it together yet. He's just trying to figure out why he can hear everybody. So he's still in shock over the whole like powers thing, So then after that, he ends up doing like this brain blast that knocked everybody down. Cindy's dad, I guess he saw everything because he got cameras everywhere. He saw everything. He sent his druids to go pick up his daughter. They snatched up Cindy, dragged her back downstairs into the tunnels. Stargirl got up, and then when Stargirl got up, she was talking to herself, and then Henry was just like, is that, he's like, Courtney? He's like, is that you, Courtney? Then in her mind, she was like, shit, he heard me. He knows who I am. And then she got scared, like, and she dipped. And now there are two people that know that she's Stargirl. And then Cindy's dad, when he was watching everything on the cameras, he was just like, "Oh, Cindy was wrong. Henry actually does have power." And then that's how the episode ended. So kudos, like I said, it's getting good now that Cindy's dad's into the mix. So we have two kids now who are aware of their powers and their situation, and they both know that she's Stargirl. Icicle Senior, he rolled up on some dude who was responsible for the accident that killed his wife. So he murked that. He murdered that dude with the quickness. And plus Icicle's trying to sleep with he's trying to sleep with Courtney's mom, which is gonna be funny. So I guess, like, if Icicle makes a strong play at Courtney's mom, there's probably gonna be an episode where Icicle tries to kill Pat. We didn't get any follow up to the janitor, so I was kind of looking forward to hearing some more janitor talk, and the janitor situation never happened, so that was a little disappointing. But I guess we'll find more about the janitor, as things go on. So like I said, and then Icicle Jr. hasn't been brought in the mix, and Cindy's dad's gonna snatch up Henry now, because, like he said, he needed his power in order to get him to, to use whatever machine he has cooped up. And congratulations to Stargirl for getting renewed for season 2. And not only are they getting a season 2, but it will be a CW exclusive. It will no longer be on both DC Universe and CW. CW will have the exclusive rights to season 2, which would be kind of cool, as long as y'all don't cut out no more footage. So, so thank you for tuning in. Yeah, let me know in the comments, like, what's going on, with the thing, with the whole situation. There was a moment where Cindy's dad was arguing with her back and forth, and he was just like, "Yo, do what I say, Cindy. Don't make me take off my mask." And I was just like, "Why?" So with the whole gene splicing and chemicals and everything, the man probably has a dragon face, which is why he wears wears the mask. So that's yeah, I'm really interested. Like, I'm interested in that, and I want to know what's up with Shade, because they brought up Shade, and like we ain't hear nothing from Shade, so we didn't get to see the rest of the Injustice Society. That would have been cool to see them, especially when he was just like, I got to explain to them why my daughter's running around killing Stargirl. I was like, I actually wanted to see that conversation, but it is what it is. So thank you for tuning in. Good 2-part episode. We got another episode coming up next week. I do not know what the coming attractions for that will be yet, and I'll be surprised when it happens. So again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think's going on with Cindy. Does Cindy stay bad? Does Henry stay bad? Do they all stay bad? Does, like, who comes into the fold? And, let me know. Let's get a conversation started, and we'll talk about it. So thanks again. Thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked. Keep it locked for more. Got Doom Patrol coming up next to Shiv and from Stargirl. Until next time, as always, guys, take care, and I'm out this bitch.